Prime Minister, thanks for your time this morning. Appreciate it. So when it comes to the Pfizer vaccine, Poland answered the call. Are you disappointed that the US wasn't there for us in our hour of need?
What we have to recognise is that, A, I'm very pleased that we're able to secure those just over 1 million doses. They arrived, the first shipment of those, last night, and that means they'll be getting out there into the New South Wales systems, targeting particularly those 20 to 39-year-olds in those most hotspot areas of Sydney, and we believe that will have a slowing impact on the transmission of the virus in Sydney. That will support the lockdown. It doesn't replace the lockdown. I want to stress again that for the lockdown to work, the lockdown has to work, and we all need to stay at home in Sydney and follow those restrictions, because that's the way this will work. The vaccines will certainly help that task, and of course the balance of those vaccines will go to all the other states and territories, because I don't take anything for granted in any of those other states and territories. Here in the ACT we have a lockdown, Victoria there's a lockdown, and I don't take anything for granted in the other states and territories. In the United States, they're facing their own Delta wave. I mean, Delta is wreaking havoc all around the world, and they have very pressing and urgent needs there. We've, of course, been talking to them and many others, but the point is that Delta is causing a strain, not just over in Europe and other places, but particularly in the United States, where the situation is seeing hundreds of people dying every day.
Mark McGowan told Andrew Clennell yesterday that he wants to pursue zero COVID even after 70% vaccination targets are reached. That's not the National Cabinet Agreement, is it?
No, it's not. And the National Cabinet Agreement was made on 3 occasions. First of all, that when you move to Phase B, you move from managing cases to ensure that you're managing hospitalisation, serious illness and things of that nature. And that was done in our first discussion on the national plan, and it was then agreed in principle with the targets that were set by the Doherty Institute, which made it very clear that once you get to 70% and 80%, at that level, particularly at 80%, then you are managing the virus just like you would the flu. And so that's what the national plan was about. It gives people that hope and the path forward. It is the path out, and that is the national plan, and that was the plan that was agreed to.
So are you disappointed by Mark McGowan's comments there?
Well, let's just see what happens. But the national plan is very clear. I'm sure all premiers and chief ministers want to see Australia come out of this. That is the way forward that we agreed, based on the best scientific and economic advice and modelling, I think, that is available to any country in the world. And so it's a clear plan based on very good scientific, medical and health and economic advice.
Okay,
and that's the way through this. I mean, I want to encourage all Australians to get vaccinated, whether they're here in the hotspots of ACT and New South Wales, or in Western Australia, where they haven't had the cases, but they're just as exposed to those cases. They're just as at risk as any other part of the world is. And that's why it's important that Western Australia, like all the other states and territories, continue to push forward on the vaccination program.